Now today we're going to be diving into something absolutely mind-bending. It's called mall world phenomenon. Have you ever had a recurring dream about a maze-like shopping mall? A place that feels familiar even though you have never been there. Maybe there's a massive fountain, there's broken escalators, or apartments that go on forever. And you keep going back night after night. Well, you're not alone. Thousands upon thousands of people are experiencing this place. They are all having the exact same dreams. They're visiting the same locations, they're seeing the same landmarks, they're also seeing the same entities. And people are waking up like they have been somewhere real. Now, I have been experiencing this for the last year myself, but my locations are different every time I go to sleep at night. I go to a different apartment, a different shopping center, the locations are different, the cities are different. And yeah, when I found out that this was a thing, I was like relieved, and I thought, finally I'm going to get some answers, because this is just mind-blowing that this is actually happening. Like, I'm dreaming of shopping in these malls and I'm buying dresses or buying, things that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have that. So today we're exploring the mall world conspiracy. Now, is it just a psychological phenomenon, or are we actually visiting a shared dimension when we sleep? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, well, I am certainly not going to tell you. You need to throw your Bluetooth headset out. Have you noticed that professional athletes and even celebrities are being photographed with wired headsets now? Think about it. They know something we don't. But I am a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in the videos. So the topic that I talk about in the video, I will have a drawing for you to watch as I talk about what I'm talking about, and it will be inspired by what I talk about. Now you can support me, Redbubble for prints, Etsy store for felt toy patterns if you're creative. There's horror characters over there, there's other designs, go and check it out. I have an AI munted colouring in book if you want to colour in the weirdest shit you've ever seen. I've got all the links down in the description below. Now with that being said, let's get on with the video, because this is another long video and I apologise. I will be trying to shorten them soon. I'm just, there's a lot of topics that I want to try and pack all the information into because there's a lot. So anyway, let's get on with the video and let's get on with the drawing. Part 1. What is mall world? Mall world is the name given to a phenomenon where people across the globe report having reoccurring dreams set in identical or very similar locations, particularly large, maze-like indoor spaces. According to hundreds of testimonies on TikTok and Reddit, mall world dreams always take place in massive, confusing environments that often resemble shopping malls with endless stores, hotels with countless floors, cruise ships with labyrinth interiors, amusement parks and water parks, apartment complexes that stretch forever, and theme parks with rides that don't quite make sense. The key characteristic is that these aren't just random dreams. People are returning to the same place over and over again, sometimes for decades. TikTok user Never Boring Ever explained, I have recurring dreams. I've been having these dreams for 20 years that I can remember. It's not just amusement parks / water parks. There's also a giant ass mall. There is a giant ass hotel. There's multiple hotels. There's all these apartment buildings. There's a whole town center. 20 years of visiting the same dream location. And when she shared this online, thousands of people responded saying, me too. For a year now, I have been dreaming every night of being in a different hotel, traveling up and down elevators and walking over to a mall or some other place like a pub or club with maze-like hallways. Part 2. The discovery. How it all started. The mall world phenomenon exploded into mainstream consciousness in early 2024, though people have been experiencing it for decades without realizing others shared the same dreams. In January of 2024, TikToker Robert Tulpe posted a strange video filmed at the Crystal Mall in Waterford, Connecticut, a nearly abandoned, dead mall with very low traffic. In the creepy footage, he wanders the second floor and films what appears to be realistic mannequins frozen on the lower floor. A voice over the PA system repeats, "Don't move," and starts counting down from 15. After the countdown finishes, all the mannequin people are gone. The video went viral, gaining over 10.8 million views, but this footage appears to be nothing but some sort of AI potentially replicating the dream scenario. But it was TikToker Stick and Toke's response that really broke the floodgates open. She stitched the video and explained something shocking. She and multiple people she'd talked to have been having the same reoccurring lucid dreams about this exact mall for years. According to Stick and Toke, the dreams always begin at the H&M store. They always feature consistent elements such as people frozen like mannequins on the first floor. The frozen people only move if you walk down the broken escalator, a specific layout that matches the real Crystal Mall, and an overwhelming sense of familiarity despite never having visited in waking life. TikToker Listen Before I Soph posted in April of 2025, "I've been dreaming about this exact very specific mall for years, and I've been trying to find out what it is for years. The only thing about the Crystal Mall that's different from my dream is the food court. The food court in my dream always has way more shops in it and is on the 3rd floor. The layout besides that is exactly the same." Her video gained over 1.5 million views in a week. As more people shared their experiences, the Mall World subreddit exploded in activity. The creator wrote, "I originally created this page to make sure I wasn't the only one experiencing this stuff. This has gotten much larger than expected." The subreddit now sees over 8,400 weekly visitors. There's also a Mall World Discord channel where people share maps, sketches, and try to identify if they have seen the same people in their dreams. One TikToker proclaims, "Finding the Mall World has literally changed my life because there are 20,000 people having the exact same dream as mine." Part 3. The common features. What people see. While each person's Mall World experience is slightly different, there are consistent elements that appear across thousands of testimonies. The locations. The most common Mall World settings include 1. The main mall, a massive multi-level shopping centre with stores that seem familiar but aren't quite right. Products on the shelves that you can't quite identify. Brands you almost recognise but not quite. 2. The water park amusement park. Elaborate rides and attractions, often with the water features. And rides look fun, but also dangerous and impossible. 3. The hotel. Endless floors with countless rooms. Elevators that behave strangely, dropping with stomach-churning lurches or moving sideways instead of up and down. 4. The apartment complex. A shadowy building that flows into endless residential units. Millions of doors stretching out in every direction. 5. The food court, always on a different floor than expected, with more restaurants that could possibly fit in the space. And 6, the theatre/cinema, movie theatres with marquees showing films that don't exist in waking life. The reoccurring landmarks, people report seeing the same specific features such as a massive fountain in the centre of the mall, escalators that move too fast to safely ride on, broken escalators you're not supposed to use but sometimes you have to, narrow shadowy hallways, staircases that are impossibly steep and go up and up with no railings, construction zones with no way out, and bridge roads that ascend to terrifying heights. The atmosphere. Mall World isn't always scary, but it's always slightly off. Dreamers describe it as familiar yet surreal, more real than normal dreams, emotionally impactful in ways ordinary dreams aren't, nostalgic but also unsettling, and like an AI-generated version of reality. Part 4. The entities. Who else is there? This is where Mall World gets truly strange. Many people report encountering other beings in these dreams, and some of them seem to know they're in a shared dream space. Reddit user Lucid Dreamer posted about flying to a different mall than usual in their dream and noticing something disturbing. They said, "It was like this overwhelming sense that these weren't just NPCs. Then 2 security guards came walking over to me and I had a real sense that I should stop talking about this. They made it clear that I shouldn't know this information and should leave immediately. immediately. They were very intimidating. Other dreamers report similar experiences. People in the Moore world who seem more aware, more real, more conscious than typical dream characters. Multiple people have reported encounters with a specific figure, a man wearing a big hat who appears at various locations in the mall. TikToker Taylor Waller described trying to follow this man, but he told her, "We do this alone. You need to find your own way out." Who is this man? Is he another dreamer? A guide? Something else? Multiple people reporting the same figure suggest he's not just a product of individual subconsciousness. Several dreamers report being confronted by security guards or authority figures when they become too aware of being in a shared dream space. These entities seem to enforce rules such as don't talk about being in a shared dream, don't try and contact other dreamers, don't try and leave through unauthorized exits, and journey alone. Don't try and follow others. Some report encountering helpful entities, guides or figures who seem to be trying to help dreamers navigate more world or escape dangerous situations. One user described, transport hubs were under attack, the guides were scrambling to help us. Part 5. The darker side, nightmares and destruction. Not all Moore world experiences are neutral or nostalgic. Some dreamers report terrifying versions of these spaces. A disturbing trend has emerged in recent Moore world discussions, reoccurring visions of nuclear attack destroying the mall. According to one analysis, 85% of recent posts involved chaotic dream patterns centered on destruction and family safety concerns. Dreamers describe the mall being obliterated in nuclear fire, transport hubs under attack, desperate attempts to protect family members, evacuation scenarios that fail, and watching the destruction from various vantage points. Many describe experiencing time loops in Moore world, reliving the same events repeatedly. One user depicted it as living in an actual life while stuck in time loops. Imagine going to sleep, spending what feels like months or years in Moore world only to wake up and discover it was one night, then going back the next night and picking up where you left off, trapped in the same cycle. A recurring theme is entities trying to separate dreamers from their children or loved ones. One participant said, "They kept trying to take my child from me, but in a sneaky way." Some areas of Moore world are reportedly more dangerous or disturbing, such as shadowy apartment complexes with doors that shouldn't be opened, basement levels that feel threatening, areas where you hear screams or cries, sections where gravity doesn't work properly, and places where you feel like you're being watched or hunted. Now, going back to TikToker Taylor Waller, she describes super narrow, shadowy hallways with apartment doors stretching out before her in the millions, and insurmountable staircases. She recounts, "Every time I start this dream, I start up on the second level and I'm looking at this huge staircase, and for some reason in my dream I keep thinking, how am I supposed to get all my laundry up to my room upstairs?" This mundane concern of laundry mixed with the impossible architecture creates a uniquely unsettling atmosphere. Part 6. The theories. What the hell is Moore world? So what's actually happening? Why are thousands of people visiting the same dream locations? Let's explore the theories from psychological to paranormal. Theory 1. Collective unconsciousness. Psychologist Carl Jung proposed the concept the collective consciousness, a part of the conscious mind shared by all of humanity, containing universal archetypes and symbols. Under this theory, Moore world is an archetypal space representing modern consumer culture and social anxiety. The mall, hotel, amusement park, these are all universal modern experiences that resonate in our collective psyche. The recurring features, escalators, fountains, endless corridors, are symbols emerging from humanity's shared unconsciousness representing consumer culture and capitalism, social navigation and interaction, the overwhelming complexity of modern life, and search for meaning in commercial spaces. Theory 2. Psychological pattern recognition. Dream analyst Lane Delphin suggests these dreams are how we process daily anxieties. We are problem solving in our dreams. The unconscious only has one goal. It wants you to take the interior conversation and bring it outside to waking life. where you can discuss it. Under this theory, malls are common dream settings because they evoke feelings tied to real-world experiences, being overwhelmed, lost, searching for something, dealing with crowds, making choices among endless options. The similarity in people's mall world experiences reflects similar anxieties in modern society rather than an actual shared space. Theory 3. The Dream Network Hypothesis. This is where it gets wild. Some researchers propose that human consciousness during deep sleep, the delta wave synchronization, creates a mesh network, a low bandwidth connection between billions of sleeping minds. The theory compares this to computer networks. Private instances, personal dreams, can link through collective servers, shared sceneries. Mall world acts like a recurring IP address on the subconscious internet. When billions of minds drop into deep sleep simultaneously, they synchronize on common frequencies, and this creates access points, shared dream spaces that multiple consciousnesses can visit. Under this theory, Mall world is literally a shared dimension accessible during sleep. Theory 4. Astral projection and shared dimensions. TikToker Astral Archangel, who frequently posts about astral projection, links Mall world to astral travel, the ability of consciousness to leave the physical body and visit other planes of existence. Under this theory, Mall world is an actual location on the astral plane. It's a lobby or waiting room of the dream realm. Entities encountered there are other astral travelers or beings native to that dimension. The security guards are dimensional gatekeepers trying to prevent people from becoming too aware, and the man in the big hat is an experienced astral traveler or guide. Theory 5. The simulation matrix theory. Some believe Mall world is evidence that we are living in a simulation. When we sleep, we're accessing the back end of the simulation, default environments and template spaces that haven't been fully rendered. The evidence cited is the AI-generated quality of Mall world, products and brands that seem almost right but not quite, NPCs versus aware entities, other players versus programmed players, glitches like elevators behaving strangely or physics not working properly, and enforcement by security guards when you become too aware. Theory 6. The GATE program and enhanced individuals. An interesting connection between older generations who participated in the GATE, which is Gifted and Talented Education Programs, report similar shared dream experiences, but they call it the Hill, a natural outdoor space rather than commercial buildings. Some theorists propose that certain individuals have enhanced dream/psychic abilities. GATE programs may have selected for these abilities. Mall world is the modern manifestation of what previous generations experienced as the Hill, and a change from organic, which is Hill, to architectural, Mall, reflects cultural shifts from nature to consumerism. Part 7. The Crystal Mall. Portal or coincidence? The Crystal Mall in Waterford, Connecticut deserves special attention since it's specifically identified by multiple dreamers as the exact location of their dreams. Crystal Mall opened in 1984 and was once a thriving shopping centre. By the 2020s, it had become a dead mall, almost empty, low traffic, and an eerie shell of its former self. The mall has 2 floors with the layout exactly as dreamers describe: a fountain, though possibly no longer working, a H&M store, and the exact escalator and corridor configuration reported in dreams. Why this specific mall though? Several theories are: 1. Liminal space theory. Dead malls are liminal spaces, transitional areas between what was and what will be. These spaces allegedly create weak points between dimensions, making them easier to access in dreams. 2. Collective memory. Perhaps Crystal Mall became embedded in collective consciousness through media, films, or images shared online, making it a natural spawn point for mall world dreamers. 3. Actual portal. Some believe Crystal Mall is a genuine portal location, a place where the barrier between waking reality and the dream dimension is thinner. And 4. Coincidence. Skeptics argue that Crystal Mall just happens to match a common mental template for malls. The people are experiencing confirmation bias. The frozen people on the first floor who only move when you take the broken escalator, well, these specific details appear across multiple independent testimonies. So, what are they? Suggestions include other dreamers in sleep mode who haven't fully entered the dream, NPCs or placeholder entities, representations of unconscious minds of sleeping people worldwide, or dimensional beings observing our reality. Part 8. How to visit Mall World. For those who want to experience Mall World for themselves or explore it more deeply if you're already visiting, the community has developed techniques. Dream journaling. The first and most important step is keeping a detailed dream journal. Write down every detail immediately after waking, the exact locations you visited, landmarks you saw, people or entities you encountered, emotions you felt, and reoccurring elements. Over time, patterns will emerge and you will realize you've probably been visiting Mall World all along. Reality checks. Practice reality checks throughout the day so they become habits in your dreams. So look at your hands. In dreams, they often have extra fingers or look strange. Try to push your fingers through your palm. Look at text, look away, and then look back again, because in dreams, texts change, and check clocks twice. Dream clocks show impossible time. When these checks become habitual, you'll do them in your dreams and realize you're dreaming, potentially gaining control, which is lucid dreaming. Intention setting. Before sleep, set a clear intention. Tonight, I will remember my dreams. Tonight, I will visit Mall World. Tonight, I will become lucid in my dreams. Repeat this intention as you fall asleep. Wake back to bed method. 1. Set an alarm for 4 to 6 hours after you fall asleep. 2. Wake up and stay awake for 20 to 30 minutes. 3. Think about Mall World. Look at images others have shared. And 4. Go back to sleep with the intention of visiting. This technique increases the likelihood of lucid dreaming and access to Mall World. And seeking control. Many dreamers want to explore Mall World more deliberately. Lucid dreaming techniques can help you navigate more freely, ask questions of entities you encounter, access restricted areas, remember more upon awakening, and potentially meeting other lucid dreamers intentionally. But be warned, some report that becoming too aware or trying to control too much attracts the attention of the security guard entities who try and eject you from the dream. Part 9. The community and connections. The Mall World community has become a phenomenon in itself. The Mall World subreddit, which is the central hub for Mall World discussions, users have posted detailed descriptions of their dreams, maps and sketches of locations, attempts to identify other dreamers they've seen, theories and analysis, and support for those who have become disturbed by darker experiences. The community exchanges practical tips about both curiosity and managing distress from troubling Mall World experiences. Cross-reference and mapping. Community members actively try to connect the dots, creating composite maps of Mall World locations, identifying shared landmarks, attempting to build a complete geography of the space, and noting which locations connect to which. Some users have created elaborate diagrams showing how the mall connects to the hotel, which connects to the apartment complex, which connects to the amusement park, all part of one massive interconnected space. Seeking each other. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect is people trying to find each other in Mall World. Some attempts to leave messages or signs in the dream, arrange to meet at a specific landmark, verify if they've encountered the same person, and form groups for shared dream exploration. Results vary, and skeptics point out that the confirmation bias likely plays a role, but some dreamers insist they're successfully connected with others and verified details that couldn't have been known otherwise. otherwise. The emotional impact. For many, discovering More World has been profound. One user even wrote, "I finally don't feel alone. After years of experiencing these recurring dreams and thinking they were uniquely strange, discovering thousands of others with identical experiences creates a powerful sense of validation and community." Part 10. The connection to this man. More World shares intriguing similarities with another dream phenomenon, this man. This man refers to a viral phenomenon where people worldwide reported seeing the same man in their dreams, a specific face that thousands claim to have dreamed about despite never having seen him in waking life. The parallels to More World are shared dream content across unconnected individuals, a specific recurring element such as a face versus a location, global phenomenon with thousands of reports, and similar theories proposed, collective unconsciousness, shared dimensions, etc. Some researchers wonder if More World and this man are manifestations of the same phenomenon, evidence that human consciousness accesses shared spaces or symbols during sleep. Part 11. My own experience. I mentioned at the beginning that I've experienced More World myself, and I want to share my personal encounters. I've had recurring dreams about a massive mall and hotels for a year now, long before I knew others were experiencing the same thing. In my dreams, there's always endless stores filled with products I can't quite identify, a sense that I'm looking for something specific but can never find it. Corridors that twist and turn in ways that it doesn't make sense architecturally, and a feeling of familiarity mixed with unease. When I discovered the More World community and saw other people's descriptions, I was shocked. The apartment complex connected to the mall. I've been there. The feeling that some people in the dream are more real than others. Absolutely. What struck me most was the emotional quality. My More World dreams feel different from regular dreams. They're more vivid, they're more coherent, and they linger in my memory long after waking. They feel like actual experiences rather than just a dream. And the products in the store. This detail really gets to me. They're almost recognizable. Almost. Like knockoff brands or products from an alternate timeline. It gives this uncanny valley quality that's deeply unsettling. Finding out that thousands of others have experienced the exact same details, that changed everything for me. Either we're all tapping into something real, or human psychology is far more predictable and interconnected than we realize. For me personally, discovering More World has been both validating and unsettling. Validating because I'm not alone in these strange reoccurring dreams, and unsettling because it raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness, dreams, and reality itself. Are we accessing a shared space when we sleep, or are our minds simply following similar patterns based on shared cultural experiences? I don't have the answer, but I do know that tonight, when I go to sleep, there's a good chance I'll find myself back in the endless mall or hotel, wandering corridors that thousands of others are wandering too. Now, have you experienced anything about what I have talked about today? If you have, please let me know in the comments section below. Describe your experiences and let's see if we recognize each other's locations. And if you want to explore this further, check out the More World on Reddit and start keeping a dream journal. Now, the illustration that I did for this one today, I just made the element of the main character, which is a young man, sort of 3D, sort of pop out from the paper, because I want him to be portrayed as like this floating being who is dreaming, and everything else in the dream, I've sort of just tried to simplify it and have this like very long, really weird checkered hallway that is just going off into weirdness, and then there's like a shelf on the wall that's got a weird doll in it to represent what people in the products that people see in their dreams, and like there's this weird entity standing in the back. There's also this weird entity coming out from behind the young man, and there's some blood splattered on the floor and the wall and all that type of stuff, just to represent absolutely absolute just weirdness that can be experienced in the dream state. The main character of this picture is tired, he's drained, he's been reoccurringly coming back to this place every night, and it's kind of taking a toll on him because it's just getting weird. And the weird background pattern that I did, I actually copied that off of a Pinterest artist, and I will have all those links down in the description below of where I actually got that picture from. There's some slight changes, but it's basically the same as the one on the Pinterest that I had a look at. But anyway, that is it from me. Sweet dreams, everyone, and if you find yourself in More World tonight, and just a reminder that sometimes the strangest conspiracies aren't about governments or aliens, they're about where we go when we close our eyes at night. I am out of here, and I will see you in the next one. Or I might see you in More World first. Bye.